Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for Season 5 of the European Racing Series. It's so exciting to be back. I'm Ben Ragger McConnell, and joining me on the caster's desk is Jamie MCast Elder. How are you doing?
I am not so shabby, man. How are you?
I am Fan Davidozi. This is European Racing Series that we commentated the whole of last season. It was absolutely incredible. I was really glad that we got to see some of the drivers develop and grow throughout the entire season, and now we get to see it all over again. But I'm gonna throw you in the deep end right off the bat there. I love doing it. I'm not gonna lie. It
I know
is
you do.
definitely
You get a
a
little kick
fun.
out of it, don't you?
I really do. I do. So I want to hear what your top three is for this Grand Prix. For the qualifying first, and we'll talk about the Grand Prix later.
Qualifying. I'm gonna have to actually stop myself there because I've just realised I'm not actually showing 2019 on my stream. Hang on. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's it's a big oof.
Well, I hadn't set it up in that one as yet, so I'm just gonna copy that and move it over. I hadn't put it in the ERS logo. That was the issue. There we go. It's done now. It's gonna be hard to look away from everyone. There's so many good drivers here. I've tipped Brownlee to win the championship, but Red Bull to win the drivers' championship. But we'll see how that works out over the course of the season.
Yeah.
There are so many good drivers. I mean, Brownlee. I mean, you could go from top to bottom and go, yeah, you could get pole, yeah, you could get pole, yeah, you could get pole, or get a few race wins. It's gonna come down to strategy for the race as well. I think it's going to be close, Brownlee Yonti. I'm going to give Yonti the opening pole, followed by Brownlee. I'm going to go really boring, actually. Yonti, Brownlee, Meister, a triple Shazoo.
What?
What are you wanting about?
I mean, all right, okay. Listen, I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be the guy who goes.
You seem to be that guy
Well,
already.
you
You've only
know
just started.
nothing. You know nothing, Jon Snow. No, what I'm gonna say is, Meister. I saw him race it here on Saturday in this exact game, and he was absolutely sublime.
Yeah,
I want to
but those
see
other
him
two
do
weren't
the
here,
same
were
level. Who? Yonti? Yonti was there, and Brownie wasn't there, but Yonti was. Yonti had a big oof on one of the early laps. But Meister was just far too quick to ignore. Lap times were just insane, and then the race pace as well. He was really, really, really fast. One thing I did see from him in the race was that he did actually get himself in a position where he got a penalty too many, I think, and that cost him just a touch. So I'm going to tip Meister to get pole here today. I do think that you are right. It's going to be a Shazoo 1, 2, 3. But I am going to give it to Yonti in second and then Brownie in third. I think that's just going to be how it is.
So,
Brownie's race pace is much more consistent than the other drivers, but they are faster, in my opinion, in the qualifying than most of the drivers.
so we're still going for a trip. The same three drivers, just slightly different order.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, well, we'll see how that works out, won't we?
We will indeed. In fact, Brownie is actually starting a hot lap now if you want to do a little ride along.
I was on turn 12 with Duxie B, survived, but there's the exit of 12 as you come across that DRS start line and come up towards where you can see the majority of the overtakes, not all the overtakes, into turn 3, second sort of stretch of DRS down the home straight, then into there. Then on turn 4, don't run too wide, Messi goes fast as 20.47, little kink at turn 5, and then come up to turn 6, enter sector 1 just there, and then throw it through there. Then it's turn 7 and 8, sort of a long, fast chicane. Opens up into the Clark chicane. Again, this is where you can see a few chances just looking down the inside there, especially if you make a little mistake like Brownlee just made there, just going a little too deep into that corner. And then this long left hand, and DRS detection point is just about here. There you go. And then through 11 and 12th Vegas corner, we call it, because it claimed him nearly a year ago now, wasn't it?
I think it might have been a bit longer than that.
No, it's probably a bit less than that, actually. I've not quite been with you for a year, so... through 13, DRS detection point for across the home straight was back there before turn 14. This is now turn 15. And then this is one of the most crucial corners on the track, even though it's just get the power down at the right moment because it has such a big effect on the DRS down this home straight. And Brownie will come do a relatively slow 20.9. Very slow, really. I mean, half a second off Meister.
Yeah. Yeah, in comparison to Mesa, it's absolutely, you know, much slower than we anticipate, but it's still very early doors. 13 minutes and 15 seconds remaining before this session is over. So still tons of opportunity for him to improve, and we saw a couple of mistakes there, one of which would have actually cost him a couple of tenths regardless. So it's no surprise that he's in the position he's in, but, you know, oh, Hazard! Big slide there. That was not the way you want to take that corner. He's kept himself out of the wall, kept himself out of trouble. His tyres will be done and dusted though, so he will need to get himself back to the pits and sort them out. But
What corner was that?
yeah,
I wasn't
not
watching.
looking good. That was
Corner
turn
5?
5.
A
Yeah.
little kink.
Yeah, it just got a bit too on the
High speed
curb,
kink, yeah.
and his back end just stepped right on out. He caught that beautifully though, I'll be honest. He kept himself completely out of the wall. There was not a single bit of damage on the car, apart from his pride. But that's the only thing that affected him.
No, I was on board with those speed. He was going up to Vegas corner. I thought, oh, here we go. Here comes a chance to see someone in the wall. Unfortunately, he had a wobble, but it was just a wobble. There's nothing more to it. Jurislav has done one lap, invalidated. He's out going again, and he looks like he might be going for a lap here. He's in mode 2, but has used a lot of ERS, so this could be a full lap. It is going to be a whole lap. Going to be a little off the pace though, but it's going to be something on the board, which is more than Hazard nearly had. And I mean, yeah, okay, 22.68. He has done 2 laps on those softs, so obviously they're not going to be prime operation. But again, as I said, it is a lap on board, which is better than 4 people currently have.
Yep, that's true. So, Jurislav, 2 laps in, setting some banker laps. I would like to give him that little pleasure of calling it a banker lap. I don't think he'd be too happy with that lap time as a hot lap. So definitely going to need to get himself reset and go again. Looking up further at the field, you got Maester in P1, Spicy, really close to the back of him, literally just over 100th of a second separating the two. And then you have Yonti in 3rd. Beaker, again, not so far behind as well. The top 4, actually, top 5 even, are all really, really close together. It's only when you get to Brownie, it's actually, you know, in the P5, he's a little bit further out, but we're only talking half a second. That can very easily be turned around in just a couple of corners, and we saw one of them where he made a big mistake in itself.
Yeah, I mean, the top 9 are separated by 9 tenths as well, so that bodes well. Obviously, this is very early doors, and we can see a lot change in the next 10 and a bit minutes. I was told we would be getting telemetry data, but I can't seem to see it, so I thought they were trying to enable that, and it doesn't appear to be showing. So unfortunately, that was supposed to give us some information on sort of tyres and fuel and all that. We've got nothing more than usual.
Nope.
Annoyingly,
but that all adds all to the surprise, because it means we know just as much as you guys do, except there's one thing I know that you currently don't, Umcaster, which is that we are going to have a full dry weekend. There will be no rain on this track throughout the qualifying and the Grand Prix, which means we will get to see DRS overtakes in action. Drivers start to get into their comfort zones, and you'll start to see other drivers force them out of those comfort zones. Hopefully not force them off the track, but still, you know, really putting pressure on them. One of the drivers who's going to be feeling this pressure is this man right here in the Renault, Vexation.
I'd watch Meister. He's all over the place. He just did a very wide exit on turn 4.
Vexation's done a similar situation just further around the track. He coming up to Vegas corner, ran wide, went onto the gravel and kept himself together.
Meister's just backed out of his lap. He's just been blocked on a hot lap by Beaker. Beaker in the braking zone.
Oh man, look at the
line.
traffic. There was so much traffic there. There was Meister, there was a couple of other cars, there was a Williams there as well, which I can only assume is, no, it's not Maranello, it must be Duxby then in that case. Yeah, it was. So he got caught up in that action. There was also a Alfa Romeo right behind him, that's Thige. So, issues. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if Beaker's going to the stewards after this on the racing line on an outlap with a fast driver behind you, and that is a big fat no-no. I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up a penalty point or 2 for that. But let's see, is Meister going? Is he coming in? He's coming in the pit, so he won't be going again. He's bad like that. Fragioko, his teammate, is going again. He's just going through turn 4 into 5. Let's see if he can do better than Meister did. And that's neat and tidy.
It is. I mean, we haven't actually seen Fragioko really deliver any sort of impressive pace for a little while now. I mean, when I first started commentating him, he was someone I wanted to keep an eye on, and he actually did quite well, but shortly after, that's when it just started to seem to be a downhill spiral of problems for him. Hopefully in the off season he's been practicing. It's obviously the first race that I've seen him in personally, and I'd love to see him be able to deliver something extraordinary for once.
Yeah, he never looked like a front runner. He always looked like a guy that would be how you might expect a Haas to be. Sort of just in the midfield. Nothing much there. Picking up points here and there, but never really a threat to the podium. But that was on 2018. This is 2019. It's basically a completely different game. People are still trying to pick up and get used to it. It's only been out. It's just over a month, really, isn't it? It came out late June. So people are still trying to get used to some things. They may not hone their setups in perfectly. Obviously, they've had a month to set it up for Australia. So Brogan disqualified for blocking the pit lane on an outlap. Where was that? And so he had a spin.
Pit lane, so I can only assume
I've seen a couple of these.
The pit lane.
This is not the first blocking the pit lane disqualification I've seen this season. This game, sorry. I've seen it. And that is another big one. That's a collision. 5-place grid penalty for Thurg. Colliding with a Hazard. It's all kicking
up
off
in the wall. Is that the same place as before?
No, this is exit at turn 2. He is not going to be happy.
Into the wall again. No, he's not. I don't know how much of that was his fault or how much of that was Thag's fault. I didn't actually catch the incident, so I'm not quite sure exactly what caused the problem, but I know that all the other drivers are... Oh, he's off again. I think he's just getting out of the way, is what I think he's doing.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll come back to him later, but look around the field as you're seeing drivers all around starting to improve. One of which who really needed to is Brownie, and he's done that. He's up there now behind Beaker. Just literally 400ths of a second separating those, and it's even less than that. 2,000ths of a second separates Brownie and Yonti, so good stuff to see from them. Spicy is still 4th, with Maester now obviously falling down the order into 5th.
Yeah, it was a little bit sort of caught us there. Beaker getting the pole. Didn't actually see it happen. I think we were focusing on other things around the track, and it just sort of sprung up and just flicking through people going through the Vegas corner. That's turns 11 and 12. Because I'm just looking to see someone lose the back end, and so often do people just have a wobble, like able to control it. They have that little wobble. You're thinking, oh yes, and then it's like, oh, they saved it. We don't want to see people crash out, but it's kind of good fun occasionally to see it happen.
It adds to the excitement. But here is Overspeed now. He's 113 as we come around the final corner. His back end stepping up pretty bad. Oh, he's caught it, but that's going to be a slow lap. He's already at 120. He's not actually reached the cross line there. He's 121.9. Does still improve, interestingly, but it's not into the top 10, so it's all going to be for nothing. Will need to improve if he wants to get in the top 10. It's not necessarily a bad thing if he doesn't, though, is it really?
If he gets 11th, then that's alright, but it's odd looking at all the tyres that people are using. Everyone's going on softs, and no one's going for an alternate strategy. Obviously, when you've got a grid so close, if you go for something that's not the optimal tyre, you're going to find yourself well out of position. If you look at best, the only person that has put a lap on something that's not soft is Maranello, baby, and he's currently 18th. As Vexation beats it quite comfortably and goes into P9 on his softs.
Yeah.
I think we're actually your favourite time as well,
Maester there. Yeah, we are. I just want to mention Maester there really quick. He gave a little, I don't know if that was a fake or not, but he went out on the mediums, did an outlap, then did an attempt at a hot lap, but as he was doing that, he decided, no, this isn't a lap for me, and then came into the pits. So he's actually in now, and yeah, like you said, this is my favourite time. This is what I like to call the calm before the storm. All the drivers in the pits, prepping themselves for the little push that they're going to need to do in order to get themselves further up the order. Maester needs to be one of those guys to do that. Currently sat P5. I mean, he's not got really much to improve. As it stands, he only needs to improve by 1.5 tenths, and he's immediately P1. But to think of the fact that he's in P5 right now, and it's that close, we're really seeing some really close, skilled drivers, and I want to see more from all of these.
Yes and no. Maester has only done one flying lap, don't forget. He had to back out of his other one. He made a little mistake and then got blocked on that flying lap, on those softs. So that is his opening. That's his opening lap there. That's why it's not as quick as it could be. Everyone else is there on their second lap, so that's why they're higher than him. So he's done that on the banker first lap. Everyone else has then put more rubber down. The track's evolved, got quicker. They've gone quicker, and he hasn't because he had an issue. So we'll see what he can do when he comes out for a flying lap. The pistol's about to start a flying lap for us now, and here comes everyone. And fortunately, he's passed Brownie before he gets to the apex, because that's quite hard to avoid blocking coming down the pit lane.
Especially if you enter turn one, you know, you can't jump out of the way. You are going to be in the way at some point. So yeah, doing what Brownie did was right, but also he managed to get past him quite swiftly. So good stuff for the pit stop. Needs to keep it going though, keep the pressure on. But yeah, now you're starting to see drivers coming out of the pits. Now, the question I want to ask actually, MCaster, is do you think that these drivers are going to be able to break it into a 119s? Now I know that we can't. I know Mason definitely has done it. We've seen him do it on the weekend, but do we think that it can get to the mid 119s, or do you think it's just going to be a high 119?
Pole is going to be a 119.8.
That's a call. Who's it going to be though?
Well, I've already
put Maester in the P1 before.
No, I put Yonti P1. I still think Yonti P1.
Fair enough. Well, he's on an out lap, so he's got some time to do it. Lepisto still on his hot lap. Everything seems to have gone well enough so far. Didn't see any major mistakes. It's now the final two corners. Misses the apex just a touch, not actually going to impact him, but he's given up on the lap, which is interesting because he's now not going to be able to get around the track again, and he's going to settle for P6 at best.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to say, you need to add that at best there, because he's not going to be P6 when the checker flag falls, that's for sure. I reckon he'll end up down probably 13th. There's another call for you. Actually, I just looked at 13th. Dan and Hiscari, same time.
Yeah. Well, apparently there's a 1,000th of a second between it, according to the gap to leader. But yeah, it is showing the same when you go to fastest lap. Very odd.
Well, it's only broken down to thousandths. It's not broken down any further, as far as official times are concerned. If you do set at the same time as someone else, it's the person that did it first gets the time. And speaking of trying to be first, Brownie is out on a flyer.
He is indeed coming up to the little chicane in the middle, setting himself up for the final sector of the track. I actually really like the final sector. It's such a interesting set of corners. This very fast chicane here, I mean, it's very, I guess you'd say it's loosely chicane because it's very spread out. Oh, he gets a bit wide there. That might have been invalidated. He's kept it in mode 4, which suggests he hasn't, but he might be just pushing to make sure he gets to line in time. I think he's actually kept it all together, but there's traffic. This might be disaster for Brownie. Needs to avoid as much as possible. All the cars need to get out of the way. Overspeed has moved out of the way. There's Dan. Is he going to be in the way? This might affect Brownie. He's doing okay so far. Dan is going for his whole lap, so I think he might actually benefit, like you say, from the toe. And is this going to be fast enough to take it? He does. He goes pole position for now. Beaker's on an out lap right now, and Yonti, your P1 prediction is out there.
Spicy currently coming around the second to last corner now, into the last corner. Fuel flashing red, that is it. This is going to be it. Checker flag has now fallen. What has Spicy got? Is it hot stuff? It is very hot stuff, and that's... Mwah, that is what we like to see. Time like that.
Yeah. A 120 dead. No thousandth of a second to add. 120 bang on the nose. So now it comes down to the likes of Maester, Yonti, Beaker. Can they beat it? Fredjoke and Lepisto have retired from the session, so they will not be improving on their times. Duxer B has done the same, so he's going to stay 14th.
Yonti's coming up to the line. No! Oh. He goes fast, but not fast enough. Maester's coming up now. He's not fast enough. Beaker's a long way back. I mean, where was our other prediction?
I'm amazed. I'm actually amazed it's not quite as close as we anticipated. Vexation's gone P6
Brownie's back
with 120.6. Yeah, Brownie will definitely not be trying to improve. Now, you can see also behind Beaker, there's overspeed between the two. So overspeed might actually get quite a fair bit of a toe from this. Beaker now coming around the final corner. He's given up. P5 is where he's going to sit. So we're wrong on the both of those ones. It's now overspeed also in the pits as well. He's not going to improve. Jiristav is coming to the pits, which now means that is the end of the qualifying session. Spicy, with a completely surprise performance, takes pole position, leading from Maester, leading from Yonti.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's even throwing my time prediction out as well. I thought we would definitely get into the 19s. Obviously not Spicy, just Yeah, so we're just going to watch him during the race. I mean, the gap between Spicy and Yonti in P3 is actually quite large. It's a quarter of a second. 2/10 is Mason's gap to Yonti. So there's a huge gap at the front, which is great to see from Spicy's point of view, but not what we even thought. Let's look at the gaps to leader. The top 14 are separated by a second. There you go.
That's insane. That is actually insane. We are going to see some insane battles throughout this track, and Australia is one of those sort of tracks that will absolutely promote that. Tons of DRS areas and tons of overtaking opportunities, mainly like you said in the hot lap, turn 3 being the big dive opportunity. And I will also want to bring your attention to how close I was to getting a 100% accurate prediction. If Spicy hadn't have surprised all of us, we would have seen Maester Yonti Brownie as I predicted, but still, it is Spicy who surprises all of us with a 1:20.000. Very beautiful lap time indeed. Very closely followed by Maester in P2. Yonti takes 3rd with Brownie in 4th. Beaker takes 5th with Vexation in 6th. Hazard, who is 7th before the 5-place grid penalty being affected. And Dan is 8th with Fred Joko in 9th. Ascari will take 10th. Yon Obamas is the best of the rest in 11th with Lapistor in 12th. Bonus Cigar in 13th, Duxie B in 14th, Jurislav 15th, Thaik in 16th with 2 lots of 5-place penalties. I didn't see the second either. Overspeed in 17th, 18th goes to Marinella Baby, and Brogan DQ'd due to blocking the pit lane. So, wow. What a very spicy qualifying session we just had. But now we've gone for the qualifying predictions, and we were very close. We almost had it. I almost had it more than you, so. But what is your top 3 prediction for the race?
Well, Spicy, was he running like a time trial setup? Is that why he was so quick? But come the race, he's going to destroy his tyres. He has been quick, but he's never been that quick. And that's just making me start wondering what he's got in that locker. Has he got the ability to win a race? I'm saying no.
I mean, no, I can totally understand that. The only thing that might surprise us, though, is how much practice he did in the off season. You know, in the time that it took for us to get into this position, how did he practice? Did he do any practice? Did he actually just spend his time in time trial? And yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe he did just do a time trial setup, and maybe his tires will be destroyed throughout this race. But the other thing to think about is something these drivers are not used to necessarily is from 2018, you didn't have to necessarily worry about your engine temperatures. In this one, you absolutely have to worry about your engine temperatures. If you don't, you are asking for a serious amount of trouble. And I think, you know, looking at it, Spicy needs to adapt.
It's not just engine temperatures. I've seen gearbox failures happen as well, and that will be another thing we'll see. Well, I might see as we go. It happened in Australia actually last time I was. Well, not last time. Time before that I was here. So that could be quite interesting to see if there's another gearbox issue. So these things have been put into the game to prevent a bit of the overzealous engine braking, I believe, is why they're there. What you'll see is some people come into corners and their revs go really high as they're downshifting, and they're overdoing the engine braking and wrecking their gearbox in the process. But predictions, I think Brownie might take this, but it's going to be tough. So I'm going to say Brownie makes the Spicy on penalties.
Oh, all right. But who's going to get the penalties? Spicy?
No. Brownie will win because Maester gets the penalties.
Oh, I see. Okay. I don't know. I mean, Brownie has been susceptible to getting penalties as well. I am in the similar sort of boat, except I do have a sneaky suspicion that something tragic will happen to Spicy throughout this race. I don't think I've seen Spicy perform this well in a while. I'm hoping I'm wrong, because I would love to see him do phenomenally well. So before we get into the Grand Prix, I'm going to go Maester P1, Brownie P2, and I am going to go with Yonti P3. But the cars are in the boxes, ready to get underway with the first round of Season 5 European Racing Series Grand Prix. We're here in Australia, and I'm very excited as the lights go out, and immediately we get away with no hesitation. There's a beautiful start there from Meister. Spicy's actually losing out to this position. Meister's got a good move down the inside into turn 2. It's going to be side by side as we come through. That Spicy on the grass. He's already in trouble. We're seeing cars going wide, but they're keeping it together. Torosso of Husqvarna is having major problems, but overall, this looks like a clean start to the race.
Yes, clean so far. Now we get into turn 3. This is starting to tighten up a little bit. I see a few cars going offline. Dan's just dropped back a little bit. Vexation got a terrible start, but has recovered a little bit. Dan, terrible start, down 5 places already, and we've only just had 5 corners. We'll keep an eye on him, see if he can make a recovery. And there's a lovely little train forming. Yelt is actually trying to make moves, and Lepista's just blocking. Lepista's going to try and make a move on Fredico here. Into the Clark chicane. Lepista down the inside. Oh, gets a nudge from Yelt behind. And they are still as they were a moment ago. And what is happening out front, though?
Oh, big off. Juroslav's gone.
Juroslav?
He's retired there. That's Juroslav out of the race now, so he is not going to end. Flag's gone as well. Yeah. Disaster. But here comes Jon Bahamas down the inside of Lepista. It's now going to be side-by-side, wheel-to-wheel action as they come through. It's looking... Oh, there's Lepista gone wide. He's been shoved off just a touch. I think that was a mixture of a little contact, but also a mistake from Lepista. He runs wide and falls down to P12.
Yeah, there's definitely contact there. That forced them off the track. Got a yellow in sector 3. It's probably him still. Trying to come back on. Mesa obviously being the race leader goes fastest. He's made the jump on Spicy. Beaker with a cracking start as well, up 2 places. Yonti and Brownlee dropping back. Vexation on the back of Husqvarna here. No DRS just yet. We'll get that next time around. Actually, we won't for a while. We'll get that after the end of sector 2. That's when it will see some DRS. You won't make many overtakes on that DRS, but you'll use it just to close up on the guy in front of you. And we have the splits coming up on our screen. And Dan is on the back of Hazard. This is not something we're used to seeing. Hazard's so far back. I don't think this is his game.
Well, I mean, he did get hindered by the fact that he had the 5-place grid penalty in the qualifying, so he did get knocked down a fair few places. He's done well to bring himself up now into the top 10, but it is not over yet. Remember, Hazard is the guy to watch for when it comes to race pace. His performance on the track is good, and penalties is where he keeps it clean.
Yeah, Yelts is now on the rear. Fredico DRS is now coming into effect. Yelts actually got yellow fuel. Not too much to worry about. No DRS actually. Next lap, isn't it? Sorry. I'm 1 lap ahead of myself. I'm getting too excited.
Yeah.
Only two DNFs so far, and the field is still quite close. There's a little gap between Duxie and Boneless of just shy of 4 seconds. As Osweed and Brogan are swapping places further back. And actually, Brownlee is starting to fall off the back of Beaker. Not something... I don't think anyone's expected to see that. Has Brownlee got any damage? Why is he dropped so far? Brownlee used to be someone at the front, not outside the podiums, a second off the pace of the guys in front. Just trying to see if he's got any damage on the front wing. No.
In F1 2018, I think you'd have been bang on the nose. I think Brownie would have been the man to watch because he was absolutely incredibly fast. Now, I'm not taking anything away from him. He's still very, very fast. But he doesn't seem to be adapting to this game as well as he did in F1 2018. I don't know whether it's just he's not put that much time into it or not. I'm not sure, but this is not the same Brownie we saw in last season. I want to see a better performance from him. Currently, that's not happening. He's got to really commit himself now to get further up the field.
Yeah, his teammate is no longer there, so he's no longer got anyone to bounce ideas off. But Haas have had a great start. 3rd and 5th at the moment. They've sort of actually swapped places, haven't they? Brownie stayed in the middle.
Oh, Jon Bahamas almost went into the inside.
Sorry, Brownie just went off track at turn 12. Kept it facing the right way, fortunately, but something's not right. I'm just wondering, has he actually got a minor bit of wing damage that we just can't see? Because this is not like him. He's not used to make... See, he just missed an apex again. This is not the Brownie we're used to seeing. Even in 2019, the races I've seen him in, this isn't what I suspect from him. And he's just falling back. Something's wrong with that car.
Yeah, we'll hopefully find out exactly what that is soon enough. But looking at around the field, there is a 3-way battle going on at the minute. I say 3-way battle, I mean there is still a lot of cars. They're all within each other. So Brownie leading the gap for P4 right the way down to P10. Here's Hazard looking for a move down the inside. Almost went in and he had to back out of that one. Jon Bahamas defended it well enough to make sure that Hazard couldn't find a gap, but still needs to be careful because Hazard will find a space and he will take it. Yeah,
he's that type of driver. He'll go for anything he can get. As Yelt in front of him gets a 3-second penalty. Hazard obviously nothing as yet. We don't expect him to get him, but you just never know with him. He's not the man he was just less than a year ago. He's pushing a little bit harder to try and improve himself. But let's have a quick flick up to see Yonti. He's got some DRS. Brownie's run wide once again.
Yonti, 3-second time penalty, just ran a bit too wide. Sorry, cut the corner just a bit too much there, going through the middle chicane. But, you know, Yonti now, look at the gap. The gap between him and Brownie is still 5/10s, but Brownie's gap between Beaker is just getting bigger and bigger. So these guys behind need to make a pass on Brownie as soon as possible, and we've lost another one.
That is the exit there of turn 13, just over accelerated off it and just put it in the wall on the right hand side. Bonus Cigar is out, and we are down to 16.
We are indeed. Yon Labamas is on the back of Fragioco, makes a mistake there going through turn 1. And now he's going to lose so much time. So now it's back up to Yonti, who is looking for a move down the inside of Brownie.
Simple. Gets
the job done. Nice and surgical. Now puts Brownie just a little bit under pressure onto the wide side. He runs a bit deep there as a result. And now Brownie's trying to get onto the back of him. But at the same time, this is backing them all up. As Haskari's actually on the back of Brownie too. And any mistakes from any of these drivers, and it will be 2 positions lost just at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, sure. I will stick with Brownie and see how he's coping. He's made 2 mistakes in the last 2 laps at turn 12. He just keeps missing apexes and just seems off his game. This is what's making me think there is some damage. Maybe he's completely overheated those tyres. I can't believe he overheated him not being able to cool him down. See him just sliding through the corners like that. And slow, really slow on the exit. Haskari's got a great chance to make a move here. If Haskari can make the move, he'll still get DRS then from Yonti, but doesn't go for it. Sits back, Brownie miles off the apex. There's something going wrong, either in that guy's head or in that guy's car.
Unless he's got the setup wrong. That's what makes me think there's something else wrong there. Is that he may have just got the setup wrong altogether, and that might be causing him big problems. But now you're about to see Brownie really feel the power of this Red Bull now. I mean, there was not a very good exit there for Haskari, so he's actually going to really hinder his chances. He's now going to have to rely on the dive into turn 3. He needs to make sure that turn 1 and 2 are really clean, and he's done it all right so far. Gets a little bit wide, not a problem there. But yeah, it's going to be too much to do. He's not going to be able to make the pass happen, but Fragioco might be able to make the pass happen on Vexation.
Yeah, he's trying to get around the outside. That's the long way. As behind the Toro Rosso's exchanging places. Dan and Lapista are fighting it out. Team orders might need to come into play there if they start trying to battle it. They are the bottom runners of the soft tyres at the moment, so I'm predicting we'll see some pit stops in probably 3-4 laps, give or take. Depends on how they're
especially
driven.
These soft runners.
Right.
Haskari on the back of Brownie, looking up for a move. He's still on the back of him, but there's no way he can get through. He is looking for it. This is going to be a tight one to pull off, and he hasn't done it. He's backed out of it. He almost puts himself in a position where he's going to get penalties, but he's kept it clean. Now, he has the DRS, he has the slipstream, but he's going to want to hold on to it just a little bit longer. Does not want to make the move happen here. Just needs to keep the gap very close.
Just a little bit unsteady off the corner as well. Brownie again kicking up dirt. I want to speak to him after and just work out what is going wrong. It's either set up wrong, or he has damage, and that is nearly terminal damage there. Just a huge amount of over acceleration off the corner. But he's going to come under a lot of pressure. He's lost DRS from Yonti as well. Kicking up more dirt. I think this is going to be a Haskari dive down the inside and an easy overtake.
Well, I mean, you say that, but look how slow he was in the run-up to there. I mean, Brownie, he must be running a lot lower wings. I guess that would explain how he's struggling through the corners, because it looks like he's just running wide non-stop. I think he's underestimated how much downforce is required on this track. He's gone, oh, no, it's fine, I can run it quite low here. And as a result of that, he's actually having problems, and you can see through that little corner there, he didn't quite do well enough. I mean, the gap is getting bigger now, but how much of that was Haskari's mistake? And how much of that was Brownie's drive away? Well,
I mean, look at what's going on behind as well. Brownie is now backing up the entire pack the whole way down to Yelt in P10, and Dan and the pistol soon close up on the back of these guys. Let's just see Brownie comes off a little wall from Haskari off the corner. So,
Yon the Bahamas. That was a beautiful move there. He managed to get just through the inside so swiftly, and he's up now in a P9. Hazard is also pushing his way up the field as well. He's brought himself up from 12th up to P8. Oh, Vexation almost runs a bit wide there, almost ends up in the gravel. And then again, we're seeing Haskari right on the back of Brownie. This time he's so much closer than he has been previously. This might be job done here. Brownie's going to have to figure something out. Is it going to be too much to do? He's going for the move already in towards turn 1. They're going to be side by side again. But no, Haskari has not made it work, but he's still very close to the back of him. Slipstream still playing a huge factor, but Brownie's car is just so much faster on these straights. But he's got for a huge move down the side. Brownie turns into him. Contact. That is Haskari spinning the car as a result of it. That is not good news. Brownie goes straight into the side of him. Now Haskari's getting in the way there of Dan. That was big.
That was 100% Brownie's fault. He just turned in like Haskari wasn't there. Haskari was already a front wheel ahead of his Brownie. Brownie hit Haskari's side pod after Haskari was already through. Brownie turned in like he wasn't there. And then as a result, Haskari span. Haskari's now tangling with Dan. The problem is then Haskari came back on unsafely right in front of Dan. So that's probably going to be a penalty back at Haskari. So it's interesting, but Fragioka is actually closing up to the back of Brownie, and I don't often say this, but Fragioka's got a chance to overtake Brownie.
Well, I was literally about to say how I begged and pleaded in the qualifying to see Fragioka deliver a much higher performance this season round, and this time he's doing it. P6 is where he's sitting right now, and he's looking dead set on taking P5 away from Brownie, but also needs to keep an eye out for that Mercedes right behind him, who's now in P7. Hazard is on a charge. Yeah.
But he will be nullified by the DRS from Fragioka. He just needs to stick onto the back of this. I say nullified, he's actually, well, he was quite close. Here comes Fragioka, DRS open, mode 4 in effect. Going to the inside. Is Brownie going to let this one come through? It's a bit better than last time. Brownie nearly comes off worse. And Fragioka actually corrected his slide for him. But just nudging him back on track. And now it's Brownie spun!
Big spin there. Brownie just lost the rear like we saw Hazard do in the qualifying. That is now Brownie, who has got definite wing damage. So that settles your question now as to whether or not he has wing damage. He definitely has it this time round. I was told that he has just been suffering from understeer. And now Brownie's race has gone from terrible to the downright horrific.
Absolutely. He's definitely going to be coming in the pits this lap then. That's... he does have a bit of front wing left. Not a lot. He's going to lose a place here to Duxie B. Duxie B on the medium, so he'll be happy to get past the soft driver. And Brownie is really struggling. Duxie B actually had to go through that chicane really slowly just to avoid him. But Duxie now up into P10, and we've still got some battling going on up ahead. Yelt is on the rear of Hazard. Hazard having a little bit of lag issues there. And Yelt was actually inside of him for a moment, but we can see Yelt make a move here on Hazard, get himself up to P6. Actually, it's close up the top as well. Half a second between Mason and Spicy. So that's good to see.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I took away from when I last saw... Oh, big wobble there from Yol. I almost thought that was him binned it, but he caught that beautifully. Still running in the yellow fuel warning lights, so something to think about. But just going back to what I was saying a second ago about Meister. He struggled hard on Saturday when his tyres started to fall apart. He's on the softs, and they are now on lap 9. About to finish lap 10 when he crosses the line. I expect to see him coming into the pits either this lap or next, purely because of how much he is struggling. You can see that because Spicy is closing in very quickly, and the rest of the pack are also bringing that up too.
Yeah, I think it could see a Spicy overtake here. Just come, oh, makes a little wobble then off turn 12. 0.35 is the gap. Don't think Spicy's going to be anywhere near close enough this time. He's in base 0 anyway. But he will get DRS now down the home straight because he is just behind him. As I said, detection point is just before that corner, and he definitely has that. So we're going to see Meister chuck it into the pits. No, we're not. He's staying out.
That's an interesting situation for Meister there. I would, like I say, when his tyres start to fall apart, that's where he struggles. So yeah, the first Haas is Beaker coming in. He's the first of the soft runners to blink. So, is it too early? I guess we're going to find out. He's surely going to go into the hard compounds. That's the only tire he could really sort of want to do at this stage in the race, and he'll easily make it to the end. Yolton Navamas gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
He's had quite a few today. Not been the best one for him. But I think Beaker could undercut these two. It depends where he comes out. Let's have a quick look at Beaker, see where he's come out. He's got a nice bit of free air. He's got 1.5 seconds to Maranello baby in front of him, now 2 seconds. I think we could see Beaker coming into the lead in the next couple of laps once the front two spit. That's going to be big.
Well, not even just that. I mean, if you look at the situation he's in, right? His tires, he's going to be in the best position overall because these guys in ahead of him are going to be struggling. They're all going to be struggling in their soft compound tires. Their lap times are going to fall apart, and the longer they stay out, the more this plays into Beaker's hands. He's pit, in my opinion, at the most perfect time you could have pitted. He will be able to take these mediums to the end as long as he doesn't overdo it. If he makes a slight mistake, he will be dead. But Beaker has got the goods to deliver today.
Absolutely, and we'll expect to see... I can't see anyone else being in front of this. Mace's just made a big mistake on the final corner. Mesa and Spicy both pitting then. I wonder if Yonti's going to pit as well. Yonti does. Is Hazard coming in? Are they double stacking at Mercedes? They are going to. Should be a problem. There's a big enough gap. There's a big enough gap.
You better hope and pray though that the pit crews are on it today. There's Spicy out. Here is the second, and
it's a little delay.
A slight delay, yeah, not too tragic. It gets away with it relatively okay. Mesa still comes out P1, in net P1, sorry.
Beaker's through.
Oh, no, Beaker! That is massive. Beaker with a huge undercut manages to get past Mesa now. Is net P1, and he's about to challenge Maranello Baby on the track for official P3. It's going to be a tough one though. Side by side, Beaker gets sent wide as a result. Maranello Baby is still holding on to the position, but whilst this battle happens, Mesa is closing in and Beaker will be under attack. He has to do something fast.
He's got to make this overtake this lap, and if he doesn't, then Mesa will be up on the back of him and he'll have to look in his mirrors. Oh, he's making the move already. He's making the move into the Clark chicane, turn 9, and he's through. And is he going to be close enough though to Brogan to benefit from DRS? He might be by the time we get there. No, he won't. It's going to be over half a second out. He should get over the home straight though if he puts these corners together as you expect. And there we go. But Maranello will have DRS, but Mesa is going to make the move on Maranello Baby down the inside of the long right into turn 13, and Mesa is up onto the back end of Beaker. Beaker will not be getting DRS from Brogan. He's just missed out.
Nope. But the other thing to think about is this is where Beaker starts to make mistakes. When he gets the pressure of someone he knows is about on par or faster than him, he starts to push excessively hard. I fully expect, I mean, we saw this on Saturday. Beaker made a huge mistake off his own back, and he ended up DNF in the race as a result of it right here in the Australian Grand Prix. Now he has to push very hard to keep Mesa behind. The alternative is he lets Mesa pass and use the DRS. There's contact between the two of them. A little bit of a nudge there from Mesa into the back of Beaker. Luckily for Mesa, there's no wing damage, so he's kept himself together. But if he goes for another dive like that, we may see Mesa in big trouble.
I missed it annoyingly. He's backed off quite a bit from the back end of Beaker. Beaker now going to try and make a move here on Brogan. Same place he got Maranello Baby. Trying to go round the outside. He's going to take him under braking, I suspect. Through he goes, and that's actually a really good overtake because he's just put Brogan behind him. Brogan will block Mesa a little bit for, well, up until the DRS straight, but he's made that overtake perfectly once again as Beaker. And unfortunately, yet again, he will not have DRS. He made that mistake last time. I don't know if you classify it as a mistake or just had to go for it when you had the chance to save yourself being overtaken. I think Beaker will say, didn't really have a choice, had to make the overtake.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, he did well. He actually gained quite a lot of time there between him and Mesa. Just having Brogan in the way really released Beaker just a touch. It has protected him for another lap, and all Beaker needs to do now is just break that gap just another tenth and a bit. He'll break into that DRS zone. I mean, it's not going to be any use to him here on the run up towards 1 and 2. As you see, Spicy making a move on Brogan as well. He's now up in a P4, so good stuff from him. But Beaker has everything in his hands now, just needs to deliver.
Yep, Yonti delivering as well. He's going to go past Maranello Baby. He's still part of this little front trio. He's now going to go past Brogan. He'll be on the rear end of Spicy. So we've got a nice little four-way battle for net race lead with Brogan in the middle of it. And Duxby sitting out front, but Brownlee 3-second penalty. That's not good for him. Down there in 15th, Brogan all over the place off the corner. And looks like Yonti's going to go past him. Same place Beaker went past him and does. And Yonti is now going to be up. He's in DRS range of... not quite DRS range of Spicy. And Beaker is in DRS of Duxie.
Yeah, I was just about to say, look at the front runners now. Duxie B is under attack. There's nothing he can do here. The tyres are far more worn than Beaker's are. He's going to have the better pace. He's coming now into the corner. He needs to make sure he doesn't run wide. He's kept it together. Mace's also trying the same move in the same part of the track, and he's done it. Mace now up in a P2. Beaker is in big trouble.
Yeah, I mean, still quite early doors in this race. We're about halfway through now. He just needs to realise that this place is going to go. He's going to lose the pace to Mason. There's not much he can do. Mason is just going to stream past him on the next straight. Beaker's got to try and make his car as wide as possible. And that is going to help him though. 3-second penalty for Maester. What has Beaker got as a response? Maester gets an okay drive off the corner. Send it down the inside and a little wheel to wheel there. Is he through?
Oh, Beaker!
Oh, yes.
He gets a bit excessive on the accelerator and just turns in towards Maester there. Gives him a good nudge, a little warning sign. That's again, I was talking about when Beaker gets under pressure. He starts to make these little mistakes, and that was almost wing damage for Beaker there. He was very lucky to get away with no damage, but you can see how desperate he is. He's got so little ERS. He's tried everything to hold Maester back. Maester's now free, and this is where we're going to see trouble now. Can Beaker pull him back?
I want to say yes, but I'm suspecting it's going to be no. He's just, as you say, ERS is so drained on Beaker. He's on 10% as we hit that straight. Mace is on 40. Spicy's on 57 behind. Yes, okay, he's going to get some DRS in. That's going to be the crucial part. If he wants to try and win this race, or at least get on the podium, he needs to stay within touching distance of Maester. Maester with 3 seconds penalties. Beaker didn't get his usual 5-second pit lane penalty, but his ERS is what's going to really hurt him. And you can just see how far back he's fallen from Maester, just on the acceleration off the final corner. It's in that DRS zone, so now it's a chance to save up a bit of ERS, save up a bit of fuel. Just do what you can to save everything. As you can see, he's running in mode 0 coming down this straight, and he's going to gain a bit through braking, but he's still 20% short of what Mason's at. And oh my god, Spicy is on 76% ERS.
Yeah,
that's how you save it.
He's in trouble. Yeah, conservative is definitely the game he's been playing, and it's working out for him. Let's be truthfully honest. Something else that's working quite well is Fragioko down in P8 at the minute. 3 tenths behind Lepisto, and he's not far off of passing Brogan and then Maranello, baby. Because both of them haven't yet pit, and whereas he has. He does have the ability to take these tires all the way to the end as Lepisto goes down the inside. Beautiful little move there. Brogan running a little bit slow coming out of that corner. It's Fragioko now trying to make a pass at him. Dan is breathing on the back of both of these drivers, so if either one of these makes a mistake, this will be Dan collecting that position. No problems at all.
Dan is trying to come past, and he's going to get a decent drive off. Both with DRS coming off the corner. Dan is still matching. Fragioko looks to come down the inside, but nothing there just yet, as the going to get some DRS has been given to all those drivers. That's good to see. But Dan is trying to make an overtake anywhere he can on Fragioko. He's all over the back of him. Is that a little touch there from Hazard?
That was a huge late lunge there from Hazard. He looked like he was just trying to get a nice move down the inside. The door got closed on him. He still attempted it anyway, locked up pretty severely, and that's now why you've seen the gap between him and Dan just extending a little bit more than he anticipated, and that's disaster for him. However, look further upfield. Beaker now outside of the DRS range of Maester, with Spicy having so much ERS available to him, and Yonti right on the back of Spicy. Beaker, who did a really good strategy move in terms of getting the undercut, is now in big trouble and looking like he might actually lose a podium position altogether.
Well, we'll see. He's on lap 17 of 29, so still 12 to go after this. So it's far from over. It's going to come down to how he's managed his tyres. He's one of the best, I'd say, that I've seen at managing tyres. You think of a crazy strategy, he'll try it. Oh, Brogan makes a mistake. Fragioko is through. Oh, big mistake. He's collected Dan. That's got to be a front wing gone. That is a massive front wing damage on Brogan. Fortunately, it's in his pit stop window. That's the only thing saving Brogan there, is that he can now come into the pits. He'll have to put a set of softs on and try and go to the end. I think he might be able to get away with it. But Brogan with a big mistake and then got punted into the wall as a result. That's really harsh for Brogan. Unfortunately, that is the way the cookie crumbles. And he's going to fall right to the back. And even Brownie's going to come past. Brownie's actually got Maranello baby all over his rear. This is not something you expect to see. Brownie obviously with just the setup of Nothing.
Yeah, pudding is the word I would probably use. Setup of puddings, because it is just so slow for him. He's not really been able to deliver. You can see just how much he struggled on the second to last corner there. Marinella, baby. Yes, he's on brand spanking new mediums, but he's now in a position where he can absolutely fly past him. Brownie, who we saw earlier, was, I think it was Spicy who was trying to get past Brownie. Couldn't get past him because of how much pace Brownie had down the straight, and now you're seeing Brownie just get easily passed by Williams, of all cars.
Yeah, I think Brownie's going to have to take a long, hard look at himself in the mirror after this and go, what did you do? We tipped him to do so well. He did really well in qualifying, but how has he ruined it in a race? And talking of ruining a race, Spicy is on the back of Beaker. 0.4 is the gap. He's not going to make an overtake here, but he will get some down the home straight. And he's all over the back then of the Haas. Haas with a decent showing at the moment, second and fourth. Where will they end up though? That's going to be the big question we're wondering. I suspect it might be third and fourth, but who will be third, who will be fourth? We'll find out as we are entering lap 19 of 29. Who do you reckon is going to take the podium from here then?
Well, I was just thinking about that because I was thinking about penalties as well. I actually don't think any of the top 5 have, maybe even 6. Maybe even 7. I don't think any of the top. Well, Mace has a penalty?
Yes, 3 seconds.
Okay, so Mace is the only one then who actually has a penalty. So realistically, he actually could be losing a podium position here. I mean, I don't know. Beaker's turned the wick up somehow. I actually want to have a look at his DRS levels. They're still pretty low, but they're not like danger levels like they were earlier when he was defending from Maester. The other thing to note, like you said in terms of tyre wear, Maester will struggle towards the end. The mediums will have issues nonetheless, right? Towards the end, they're going to really start to fall apart. However, Beaker is better on the time management skills overall. Beaker is really doing a good job of managing that, and when it comes towards the end, he will reel in Maester, who we know has a penalty anyway. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3.
It's gone.
It's an upspeed.
Well, he's not having a good day. He's back there in 16th at the moment. His teammates retired long ago on the opening lap. He's just trying to keep it going, in all fairness, which you can't complain to him about. Brogan is having another pit stop. Did he have another off?
I can only see, unless it was him that had the off, potentially, but way overspeed was on the track. It sounded like he was the one in that position. Yonti is also another driver who has penalties. In fact, we are about to get a penalty update. We'll just talk about that in a second. But I do want to just talk about the other drivers on the track as it stands. And there's Yonti getting another one now, so that's 6 seconds. At the minute, he's covered. He's not going to lose anything, but he's also not going to gain anything. He's pretty much just cemented. I'm only going to get P4, and that's if I stay as I am right now. So a lot to do.
All it's going to take is one mistake there from Yonti. One little wheel on the grass, lose the back end and lose a few seconds, and the pista followed by Fragiaco, and then Hazard and Dan could all stream past in just one mistake. If he just loses, yeah, just one off, that's all it's going to take. Just have a spin at turn 12, and that is your entire race going to be ruined for Yonti. He's going to have to be careful. He has them covered at the moment. He's only got 6 seconds penalties there, 8 seconds behind. So yeah, he'll be fine on that front for now.
Yeah, and that's if he doesn't get another one.
Yeah.
So penalty rundown is Maester. Our current race leader has 3 seconds of penalties. Yonti has 6 seconds of penalties. Vexation has 6. Yolnabamus has 9. Hiroscari has 3 and Brownie has 3. No one else has any penalties on the track. Oh, that was a mistake there from Spicy. Look at the gap now that Beaker's managed to accrue. Spicy was aligning Beaker up throughout the final corner to be ready to get a pass going in towards turn 3. But now, as a result of that mistake, Beaker is safe for at least one more lap, and he needs to get a move on because we only have 8 more to go.
He wasn't the only one that made a mistake as well. Yonti made a mistake and lost half a second to the pista behind. He made a huge mistake in the grand scheme of things. Yelt has actually got a 5-second stop go as well for spinning in the pit lane. So tack that on to the end of his penalties, and he'll be definitely outside the points. That's for sure. Unless something happens.
Yeah.
I want to touch.
It'd have to be a big. It'd have to be a big something. Let's be honest. I mean, in order for him to not lose that amount of seconds, I mean, he needs Hiscari, Marinella.
Oh, Beaker! Slow out the corner. Slow out the Clark chicane. Spicy is going to make a move round the outside.
It was very touch and go. But Vika, like you said, does make a mistake. Still holds on to P2. Spicy trying to line him up again. ERS running low for Spicy. Beaker's in more trouble though. Look at that. Single digit ERS levels right now. He's not learning to turn it down to 0. Yeah, he's... I think this might be the start of the end for Beaker.
Yeah, he's going to have to be really careful. Spicy is on 50% ERS. He can afford to run mode 4 for an entire lap if he really, really wanted, and still have a bit to spare. Yonti's still well off the back of Spicy, 1.5 seconds. It's almost like he's resigned himself to the fact that he's not going to take these guys, so he just needs to manage the gap back to the pistol. He's actually gained a second in just over a lap on Yonti, so that's interesting to see. But Speaker is 2.3 off the back of Mace. There was 1.5 this time last lap, and that just shows how much of that mistake he made. Spicy unable to get past, so we'll see what can Spicy do this time around. Will Beaker make another mistake? Will Spicy be able to capitalise?
Well, we also need to look a little bit further.
Spicy makes a mistake instead, sorry. Just massive amount of oversteer off the corner. Got it too hard. Yonti's nowhere near, but Beaker's safe once again by mistake from Spicy.
I think we should rename Beaker to Lewis Hamilton because he is blessed right now on how well he's been able to capitalise on Spicy's mistakes. And he's not been immune to it. But yeah, I was just about to say about how there's also a nice little battle going on between P5, 6, and 7. As Fragiocco is wheel to wheel with Lepisto, goes wide, gets a little bit on the grass there. Lepisto manages to recover, get himself back up into P5. But now he knows that there is a very rampant Italian trying to chase him down, looking for an opportunity around it. And now, on the home straight, this is going to be a change of positions. Lepisto needs to find a way to defend. Looking at it though, Fragiocco's still staying in mode 2. He's trying to hold the distance, getting ready for the run into turn 3, as that's going to be where it is the most. As Lepisto takes a nice tight line there, that means that Fragiocco's going to get a better run out the corner. DRS wing wide open. Mode 4 is initiated. Slipstream is going to be fully utilised, and now he's going to be going round the outside towards turn 3. Lepisto's down the inside. It's still wheel to wheel, and he's done it. Lepisto makes a little mistake there and loses the back end. Hazard is now also past him as well. So Lepisto, one small mistake for him, 2 positions gained for the other drivers.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it while that was happening. Beaker, 3-second penalty to his name, and that's a race win gone, I'd say. Spicy's made so many small mistakes on this lap as well. It's almost like he's just been told, Beaker's got a 3-second penalty, don't worry about your rear. It was going to go round a few times for you. Just wobbles.
Yeah.
I've seen 2 or 3 good wobbles from him this lap alone. Is the pressure starting to get to Spicy? He knows he's got Beaker's done on time penalties. But
well, that's if he's spoken to his Jeff though, because if he hasn't, then he won't.
Well, he'll find out quite quickly. Spiker trying to get a little slipstream of overspeed, didn't get anything in the end, unfortunately for him. And Brownie, 3-second penalty. His day is terrible.
There you go. Spicy, 3-second time penalty for cutting the corner in turn 1. That now evens things up. All of the top 4 drivers, the top 3 have 3 seconds. Yonti is the one who has most. Now Beaker is back in this. So yes, the race win is not going to be available to him, but now P2 is back on the cards for him. He may be able to keep this together. 5 more laps of this. I don't think that we can handle this.
Another mistake from Spicy. I don't know what's happening. He just seems to over-accelerate out of the corners and just has to correct himself so many times. He's going to do another one here. He doesn't this time now. He's got a good drive out of the corner, but so is Beaker. 0.366 is the gap. There are other good drivers on track. I'd like to point that out. However, this is where our attention has to be focused, because this is for 2nd, 3rd, and effectively 4th. If one of these guys picks up another penalty, or 2 penalties per se, then Yonti is back in that. Yonti is on 6 seconds. Everyone else in front of him on 3 seconds. Yonti's not out of this yet. These guys battling in front of him could just nudge each other, could just pick up a penalty trying to push too hard. And Yonti's just sitting there. He could take advantage of it any moment. And I think that's what's in his mind at the moment. He knows he can
he's got to
take him. Yeah.
He's literally in a position where he has to hope and pray the drivers in front make a mistake. Now Yonti is in a very unique position because he also is able to apply the pressure to Spicy. I mean, Spicy's currently looking in front and behind. And if Yonti decides at any opportunity that he wants to go for a little send it down the inside of turn 3, Spicy, not only will he lose a lot of time, he also puts himself in a position where he might even get another penalty, especially if he's making mistakes, as we saw him do earlier. But looking at it right now, he's right on the back of Beaker. Again, no real overtaking opportunity for him. He needs to make a mistake, not make a mistake, and just keep it together.
Yeah, the other thing to remember is Beaker and Yonti are teammates. If Yonti can put his car between that... Oh, another mistake from Spicy once again. Yonti's got the drive. Yonti needs to get past. This can really help Beaker out. Spicy comes across to take the racing line. Perfectly legitimate, if you ask me. Yonti wasn't even alongside him at that point. Spicy just came across, broken the 3-second penalty down there in 16th. And that's messed up Yonti for this time. But Beaker wants Yonti to get in the middle of this scrap, because it's going to save his arse.
Yeah.
But Yonti just hasn't quite got the pace to match them right now. And I bet, knowing Beaker, he is yelling at Yonti. Yonti, get your ass in here. Get in front of Spicy and save me.
Help me. And yeah, that's exactly what Yonti's trying to do. He really capitalized on Spicy's mistake. And the only thing that made me think, oh, Spicy might be in trouble there, is it was a very late move to the racing line. You know, it was a very marginal... Yonti was almost alongside of him at the point of when he decided to turn across. You're right, though, he wasn't, and that's ultimately why it's probably going to be there's going to be nothing more than just, you know, a move. That was it, a scare, a little heart attack, a jump scare if you like. But you know, it gave Beaker a little bit more breathing room. We're now down to 3 laps remaining of this session, and all we're seeing is Meister running away with this a little bit more. Yonti almost gets another penalty. He was very almost on the limit there. He might have even got a warning for it. He has to be careful because he can't afford to get another one. Otherwise, he will then lose the position to Fragioka. Oh, mistake.
From who, sorry?
Yonti. Nothing too tragic. Back end, just a little bit of wobble, had to catch it. He's kept himself together, still within the 1 second DRS range. But now, there will be no help from Yonti onto Spicy to help Beaker out. This is going to be now Beaker having to protect himself. The only sort of saving grace is that whilst Beaker is also struggling on ERS, so is Spicy.
Yeah, but Beaker's struggling on fuel. I keep seeing that yellow fuel warning flash up for Beaker. There it is once again. It goes off. It just flashes. Oh! Spicy is living up to his name. He's losing that back end so many times. I reckon there's a little bit of a mess in that car seat when he gets out of there. The amount of back end step outs he's had is just ridiculous. Is that his tyres? Are they starting to go? Is that what's causing these in the last few laps? Are they just starting to get a little bit warm? Are they starting to fade away on the grid?
Hazard's going around the outside of Fragioka in towards turn 3, and he's actually not managed to make the move stick. Fragioka defended that beautifully, and that's going to help Yonti a little bit in his defense of keeping the position for P4. Fragioka can't really push now. We're seeing Hazard trying to do a little bit of a weave there. I'm not sure if he's trying to fake out a little move. Brownie is retired from the session. He's out, and he's outside of the points anyway. But now, looking around the field, back up at the front, Beaker still holding Spicy back. Yonti bringing himself closer and closer and closer to Spicy. And just going back to what you were saying, I actually think Spicy's the one who's ruined his own tyres.
Yeah, he's just seems every now and again he just has a little bit of a wobble. What's causing that? Is that just he's getting a little too keen on accelerator? That will then overheat the tyres a little bit, just wear off a little bit more, and I think he's going to need all of that tyres come the end of this race. But he's still keeping on the back of Beaker, so maybe Beaker's are just as bad, but not as bad, and that is what's keeping them apart. Beaker is only just ahead on DRS, and Spicy's not using DRS. Hang on, is that a mistake from him, or has he got an error, an issue? No, he's using it.
I mean,
that must be a mistake.
Yeah, it must have been a mistake, but he's also lost a lot of time as Yonti is now tearing up to the back of him. That one mistake there of not using DRS, meant that Yonti lost the position. Fragioka manages to lose the position as well to Lepistor and Hazard. So Hazard now is running in P5, and it is going to be net P5 because Yonti is just too far ahead in order to capitalize on any sort of penalties, unless he gets one more.
Yeah, there's a swap further back as well. Haskari and Yelt swapping around. I think that might have been a team orders. Yelt with a lot of penalties. Haskari fancied a shot at Vexation. Vexation's got penalties of his own, so should take that position anyway, irregardless. And we've got a lap and a half left. And this race is exactly what number 3 is. Spicy.
Yeah.
We've made that pun so many times.
It's getting even hotter. It's getting even hotter because look how close he is now to the back. We lost Brogan, so now that's 5 drivers that we've lost so far in this session. Beaker makes a mistake there through the third to last corner. Beaker needs to get himself together. We are about to embark on the second to last lap. This is all about, sorry, now the last lap. This is the final lap now as they cross the line. Beaker will be feeling the pressure. Spicy will be seeing how much he can get out of that ERS battery because it's running very thin on the ground. Beaker's in trouble. This is going to be it now. In the run up towards turn 3, Beaker is going to be leading Spicy away, but Spicy's making moves around the outside. Yonti's trying to get involved as well. Beaker's defending hard. He's managed to keep it together, and Yonti's through. Yonti's in third, but they're together side by side. Yonti runs wide. Spicy manages to hold on to P3. That was insane.
It's not over yet. Beaker definitely with a much less fuel than Spicy. Spicy can run it a little bit harder than Beaker can. And I think he's going to have a great chance here after the turn 12 on that DRS straight. And he might even have a chance before there. It's going to be crucial. These next few corners are going to be the most crucial corners of the entire race. Can they nail turns 11 and 12? No grip, no fuel. Bit of a corner cut there from Spicy. An attempt to get after Beaker. Beaker nails it, but Spicy has DRS and fuel. They have both got no ERS left, and that's what's caused it. Beaker still ahead. It is not over yet, though.
Spicy made a little mistake there on that corner. He actually just lost the back end just a touch. This is Yonti's now opportunity. If Spicy tries to push himself too hard, he might get a penalty. Yonti might be able to pull it back, but no. It will be Mace who crosses the line first. Beaker will cross the line second. Spicy will take third, and Yonti will take fourth. And that has to be the biggest start to a season we've seen in a long time.
Absolutely. Hazard comes across the line in fifth. Fragioka jumps up to sixth. Dan Lapista in the 2 Toro Rossos in 7th and 8th. Hascari gets the jump of Vexation through penalties as well, and gets 9th. Vexation, as I say, last the points places. Down there in 10th. Marinola Baby in 11th, followed by his teammate a little far back with a rev limiter bug, so I'm going to skip over that. And then even further back is Yelt, who's unfortunately just fallen really off the pace in the last few laps. I think it might be tyres might have just gone on his car, that's why he's struggling so much. But he still finishes the race, which is better than could be said about some other drivers.
That was an insane race. Beaker drove the best defensive driving I think I've ever seen, ever. Not just from him, ever. That was phenomenal to see, and beautiful stuff there from him in the Haas. So we've got 3 different constructors on the podium. There's Meister, who takes the top spot with Beaker in second, and Spicy taking a very spicy third there. Beautiful stuff. Champagne spray out all around. Phenomenal race. I already can't wait for Bahrain.
Yeah, Bahrain has produced some cracking races last season in so many different leagues that I think we could see another cracker. Seen so many close races across the line. And I think if that continues, we're going to see a great Bahrain. Yeah. I assume your driver of the day is going to be the same as mine, or...
Well, I mean, if you look anywhere other than Beaker, I think you're maybe lost your mind a little bit, haven't you?
I think for a change, we actually agree on driver of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Beaker did exactly what was required. Takes a very solid P2 after such a difficult drive. I mean, that was not an easy one. You know, when we talk to him later, you're just going to hear him say, oh.
He hit me, he's bumpy. Oh, that you.
His fuel was running very low, I've been told. Very, very low, as you mentioned it a few times, but I'm told it was like incredibly, incredibly marginal. So beautiful stuff from him. Just waiting for the final rundown to appear on the screen, but with drivers leaving, it might
I've already gone through that.
I haven't got it.
Oh, I think you might have crashed it, because I'm
just
through
sat
that,
on a black
and I'm
screen.
out of lobby. I think you've crashed.
Oh.
Fortunately, I picked it up.
Feels bad, man. Well, cool. Johnny, have you got the rundown? Have you got it still on screen? Or
no.
Well,
I can find
anybody...
it, but...
Unfortunately, the game has bugged out for me, so I don't see the rundown of the drivers. But it has been an absolute pleasure to commentate for you for the start of Season 5 of the European Racing Series.